Alright, today we're going to look at some of the properties of kites. Alright, so our first property of a kite is that it has two pairs of consecutive congruent sides. So this side and the one right next to it, those are congruent. And in consecutive, this side and this side, those are congruent. And then the angles between the non-congruent sides are congruent. So this angle and this angle across from each other would be congruent. So let's see what we can do with that. Well, first of all, we know this angle is congruent to this one, so that would be 3x plus 4 equals 112. All right, and if we know these sides are congruent, then this would be 3, because it's the same as that. If these sides are congruent, then this would be 7. Not too bad there. All right, again, these angles are congruent, so this would have to be 120. And then across, now here's the trick here. All together, any four-sided shape, the angles added together equals 360. So to solve for y, I'm going to have to take 120 twice, so that's 240. And then I'm going to have to add on 60. That gets me up to 300. So altogether, this shape has to have 360 degrees. So then I'm going to take away 300 for what I already have. And that means y would also be 60 degrees. All right, for this one, we're going to need to think about, again, all the angles are going to add up to 360. And so I'm going to need to take away the 132 and the other 60. And that's going to be 360 minus 192. That's going to leave 168 degrees. But that's got to be shared between these two angles. So I'm going to have to divide that in half. And that's going to give me 84 for each of these angles. All right, how are we going to do this one? Well, again, if this is 125, this angle here would be 125. These ones are congruent. And so I'm going to take away 360 minus double that, so that's 250. All right. So 360 minus 250. That leaves you with 110. And that means these two together need to equal 110. So I'm going to say 9y plus 13y should equal 110. Add up 9 and 13. You get 22y equals 110. Divide both sides by 22. And you get y equals 5. And I can then find the actual angle measure, right? 9 times 5 is 45. And then 13 times 5 is 65. So this angle would be 65, and that one would be 45. All right, third property is that the diagonals of a kite are perpendicular. So we see this also in a rhombus. You can kind of think of this as a stretched out rhombus. We've got 4 perpendicular angles there, or 4 right angles made by those 2 perpendicular lines. And that gives us then 4 right triangles. Okay, so if we know this is 90, this is 90. This would have to be 70 as well. Okay. We know 1 is going to be 90. This one will be 90. 2 is going to be then, this now makes a right triangle. So you have 180. Minus 90, which leaves 90, minus 70 leaves 20. So this one have to be 20 degrees. If this is 3, then this must be 3. If this one is 8, so here we've got one triangle here with sides of 3 and 8. That's going to get you this side. Here you've got another triangle with 3 and 4. That's going to get you this side. So we're going to need to use Pythagorean theorem on both. So 3 squared plus 8 squared is going to equal y squared. All right. 3 and 3 is 9. 64 equals y squared. So that's going to be 73 equals y squared. So y equals square root of 73. So that's about 8.5. All right. We'll go ahead and leave another amount of precision there. So we got y equals 8.54. That's going to be here and here. I know this is a Pythagorean triple, so I know that's going to be 3, 4, 5. But if you didn't know that, so you're going to say 3 squared plus 4 squared equals x squared. So 9 plus 16 equals x squared. And then 16 plus 9 equals 25. So x equals the square root of 25, so it equals 5. So we know this is 5. So we got 5 plus 5 plus 8.54 plus 8.54 is going to be your perimeter. Okay, 8.54 plus 8.54 plus 5 and 5, which is 10, and we're looking at 27.08 for the perimeter. All right, finding the length of the diagonal is the same situation. We just have a different missing part, right? So if this side is 20, then this diagonal is 20. And now we have two different triangles, so that's going to be 20 squared plus x squared is going to equal 35 squared. And then here you're going to have, we'll call this y, you're going to have 20 squared plus y squared is equal to 25 squared. I won't take the time to work all of that out, but you would just continue Pythagorean's theorem and then get a value for x and y. All right, so that's all for today, and we will practice some in class. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.